Hello and welcome. This is session 1 of our Profit Margin Costing class brought to you by MB2 Consulting Group. My name is Stephanie Livingston. Session 1 highlights to you the most egregious error that we see in a cost plus pricing model when it comes to labor. When you have a labor that is also a W-2 component, this is when costing is a significant challenge. The reason it's a challenge is because when you have W-2 labor, you're also having to pay employer payroll taxes. Employer payroll taxes are not flat, they're dynamic, and it depends on how much that person has earned cumulatively for the year, which determines when those taxes drop off. So, getting right into it, this is an example I've costed out for you. This is Susie. She's with us January 1st. She's with us through December 31st. Her annual salary is $149,000, so she meets all 3 payroll tax thresholds. SUTA and FUTA in the beginning of the year are the smallest of the taxes, but they are significant because they double your payroll taxes. Now, when SUTA and FUTA are met in the first $6,000 or $9,000 of the employee's annual salary, then those taxes just completely drop off. And then you're only paying for one payroll tax, the Social Security. So, to give you an idea of how dynamic this is, the total of all 3 payroll tax components for any employee before they've met any matches or thresholds is going to be 13.48%. And so if I were doing a cost accounting exercise and I totaled up my total payroll taxes for the year, and then I divided the total by the annual, I would give you the result of saying Susie's payroll taxes are costing 6.34% of her salary. Now, if I were costing a job, product, or service that involved Susie in January, and I was costing her out at labor plus 6.34%, I would be far off. And if I had been thinking I was going to make a profit margin of a certain percentage because I was using the 6.34%, I would be wrong. I would be earning much less than what I thought I was earning. And this is what typically happens. This is the cost accounting error that we see over and over again. So what's the answer? How do we properly cost Susie? Well, it kind of goes back to understanding the pattern first of all. So let's draw it out. In January, Susie was at 13.34%, and that puts her about here for January combined total cost. Then, once those 2 smaller taxes are met, her total cost drops down to labor plus Social Security tax, and once she's met that Social Security tax threshold, her cost drops again. And now her total cost is only wage per hour. So as you can see, this is a dynamic pattern. It's very predictable. It's very certain. The only degree of uncertainty is where you are going to hit these different levels during the year for any one or more of your employees. So, in a dynamic world, we have lots of employees. We have people coming and going, and so the patterns become muddled. Maybe you have someone you hired here. Maybe you have someone you hired here. Maybe you have someone you dropped off, and so possibly you have muddled patterns that kind of look like this. But as you can see, every time you hire, your payroll tax component percentage goes up. every single time. And the dynamics of how much it goes up depends on your blended labor pool payroll tax component. So we're going to stop there with session 1. And session 2 will jump right into 2 layers deeper of how to properly cost out Susie to get your profit margin goal target every single time.